Morning. Good morning, everyone. Now, let me begin by the statement of the purpose, the why we are here. Now, this LDM course 2 for instructional leaders and for teachers is a NAEAP downloaded program in coordination with the NAEAP RO. This program passed the DepEd standards as technical assistance in the implementation of basic education learning continuity plan. We are doing this one right now in collaboration with the field technical assistants, with the presence of our dear chief, the chief of field technical assistants, Sir Mike Alba. Good morning, Sir Alba. Now, good morning, everyone. I hope you are all in good condition wherever you are now. So, again, as I mentioned, this is a NAEAP Central Office downloaded programs, and that the participants will receive certificate of participation upon successfully completing all the modules or all the activities that we with us here, the education program supervisors, the PSDS, the select principals who will be coaches in the implementation of this learning delivery modality course 2. Now, our objective for this orientation is that to provide you with better understanding of what the learning modality course 2 for instructional courses is all about and your vital role that you will play as instructional coaches to our teachers. Now, I know that uh, it's really it's really hard to face really the new normal, but because of all your positive thoughts which I have heard this morning, and with the message of our ARD, we can continue the learning in all our respective schools. Now let us start doing the 30-day thankfulness challenge of our ARD. So we are very thankful to our ARD, but because she has a very urgent task to be done this morning, that's why we played her message last Thursday in the same way with in the same topic wherein our participants were all the training management team of the SDOs. Now this will be the flow of the orientation for this morning. Now we are having or we have just finished the preliminary program. Now that will be followed by the session one, which is the course overview. This was actually stated by Sir Jerome already. That will be followed by session two, the technical assistance and coaching in the LDM course two. Session three, the walkthrough of the course modules for instructional coaches. And the session four will be the synthesis, the next steps, and activity evaluation. Now, we will end up this program probably until 12 a.m. this morning. So now, let me continue my session that is all about session one, the learning delivery modality course two for instructional coaches, the course overview. Now, our session objective is this. In this session, you will listen to the discussion of the learning delivery modality framework, the course content of the learning delivery modality course 2, the delivery design, and the type of learning modalities utilized. Next, please. Now, the learning continuity plan courses. We have actually the three courses. Course one, the learning delivery modalities. Actually, we have finished already this course, and I am very thankful to all of those who finished the course one for the school heads or the school leaders, including the PSDS and the EPS. Then we have the course two, which is all about welfare and well-being, the learners' welfare and well-being. And the course three, we have provision of psychosocial support and training on wellness. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So, LCP courses for school and division leaders. Now, actually, this is made up of two streams. Course one. Now, LDM1, Management of LDM Implementation. And we have finished that. Now, we have the course two, the Learners' Welfare and Well-being. Okay, next, please. Next slide. And the course three, I discussed that already. Now, the learning delivery modality, course two, the teaching in the modalities, what to teach and how to teach. It is actually made up of four modules. Now, these four modules, module one, the course orientation, module two, the most essential learning competencies, module three, lesson design and assessment in the modalities, and module four, coaches, technical assistance, and coaching in learning delivery modalities. Now, the LCP for teachers, we have the stream 2 for course 1. So LDM2, teaching in the modalities. Okay, so I mentioned that already. Now, again, I mentioned already the course 2. Course 2 here, learners' welfare and well-being. We have three modules. And then the course 3, we have seven modules. Now, for course 3, the DepEd already provided several training in coordination with the NAIAP Central Office. And I hope all your teachers are already attending this one. Now, for next, please. Okay. So I mentioned that already. So, all right. Next, please. Now, the course orientation. Now, the course three, you have seen that the all right. So the learning delivery modality course 2 for instructional coaches. Now, the course objectives are the following. Know the different learning delivery modalities and platforms, their features, uses, and pedagogies. Now, next, plan and execute an orientation of teachers for the LDM2 courses. And third, plan for the technical assistance and coaching of teachers in the learning delivery modalities. And last, be confident in performing your role as an instructional coach. Next, please. Now, okay, so let me explain to you the Learning Continuity Plan Capacity Building Framework for teachers and school leaders. Now, this LCP CB program um, formulated by NAIAP Central Office, is anchored on the professional development priorities, which was actually issued in the DepEd Memorandum number 50 series of 2020. And because of this pandemic, this LCP was formulated. Now, both we have the courses for um, school leaders, which made up the the principals as well as the supervisors. Now we have two tracks here. So we have the learning continuity program courses, and we have also the regular professional development program or courses. Now these are designed and implemented through using different principles and guidelines. And also, the contributing writers and editors here came from both internal and external learning service providers. Now, what is our goal in the implementation of the Learning Continuity Plan courses? Now, of course, uh, we really want to improve readiness for remote multimodal learning delivery and informed decisions making in choosing appropriate learning delivery modality. For regular professional development programs, we want to improve pedagogical content knowledge and assessment. Now, what is really the common goal? We really want to have quality instruction delivery in this new normal. Of course, we need to support strongly the sulong edukalidad of DepEd. So this is the whole learning continuity plan capacity building framework for teachers and school leaders. Next, please. Now, our learning delivery modality delivery design on building expertise on the ground are the following. Of course, we want self-learning modules. That's why you will be provided with modules in which you will do independent study by yourself or with the aid of your peer. We call it as peer learning through luck and coaching. So, next please. Our our delivery modality may be of two types. It could be synchronous and asynchronous learning. Now, when we talk of synchronous video, it could be done through video conferencing. Now, like this, no? Via luck and coaching, or it may be guided independent study through self-learning module or asynchronous peer learning. For those who would like to make use of other gadgets aside from the laptops or the computer, you can make use of your cell phones through text messaging. Okay, so next, please. Now, this is what I told you about building expertise on the ground. So, let's say, for example, in your SDOs, the modules now are being used, no, in the implementation of this program. So, independent study plus peer learning through LAC coaching. So, these are now the learner participant in one LAC team. So, LAC team is actually headed by a LAC leader. Now, whatever output the LAC team will submit, you need to submit that to the LAC leader. And the LAC leader will collect all the outputs. Now, the LAC leader, the LAC team is actually uh, we have the assigned coach. No? Now, the assigned coach will collect the output for evaluation. So the LAC leader will submit the output for evaluation to the assigned coach. Now, who will be this assigned coach? You will be the coaches. no? So the output you will evaluate and validate and then recommend for certification. So then, all the assigned coach will submit the recommendation for certification to your overall LDM2 in charge in your SDO, in which the overall SDO in charge of this program, which is the SGOD chief, will forward to NAIAP RO for the or will forward to NAIAP RO the recommendation for certification. A NAIAP RO and CO will issue the certificate and update all the participants about the professional development record in the Professional Development Information System, which could be viewed either online or offline, the PD credits ranking. Because by next year, credit units will be used in the promotions of teachers and school leaders. Now, the certificates that will be honored are those certificates which are NAIAP recognized only. So we will wait for the issuance of the policies regarding hiring and promotion. Okay, next please. Actually, that will be by next year. It's an interruptions of net interruption. Okay, so the course engagement, the independent study and peer learning. So again, you will submit the module output to the LAC leader. And from LAC leader, module output submission to the division coach. So you need to submit your output to the division coach. And then the coach will recommend for certification. And then afterwards, the issuance of certificate by the RO and the CO or the central office. Next, please. All right, so these are the indicative implementation schedules and time allotment of these two courses. Now, the first course is the training of coaches for LDM2. Now we are having this orientation for coaches. Now, after this, you are expected to implement this training for coaches in your respective SDOs with the management of the SDO training team. Now, this is just a suggested schedule, but hopefully you could meet the schedule, no? So that before the start of classes, the coaches and the teachers have already done all this. Second week of September, this will be done for 5 days. Now, of course, you will not yet implement the LDM2 for teachers unless the training of coaches have been completed, because no one will coach the teachers because you will be their coaches, no? Okay, so LDM2 for teachers, that would be done probably on the third week of September for 5 days. Next, please. All right. So let's have a game time for 3 minutes. So this is now what we're going to do. What do you think is the proper sequence of modules in LDM2? So get a sheet of paper or a smartphone and write the letters of your answer just for you. Okay? Uh, Sige, you can guess because I know you do not have yet any idea about this. So from A to F, write on your writing sheet or wherever the proper sequence of modules 1 in the learning delivery modality course 2. So your time starts now. Uh, Next slide, please. All right, now check your own answer. So the first one must be, of course, the program should always start with a course orientation. And this is now what we are doing. The next, planning for the implementation of LDM2 for teachers. So there must be planning of an LDM2 for teachers. So letter B. Next, letter F. Lesson design and assessment in the modalities. So there must be that design. And then next, letter A, the learning resources. So there must be the learning resources. So letter A, then letter E, technical assistance and coaching in learning delivery modalities. And the last one is building your LDMTA portfolio. So as you can see, the chronological order of the LDM course 2 from letter D, B, F, A, E, C. Now, the question is, how did you feel about your score? Share it through emoticons and put that in the chat box. And I will see that later. Okay. So then, all right. So moving on, the learning delivery modality course 2 is
Hello, hello everyone. Sorry for that. You know that we are streaming live from the regional office, and all our session facilitators are in different places or different locations. So there are technical glitches. So connectivity issues. Please bear with us. We will continue our session with Ma'am Luz while we are fixing this. We are just waiting for Ma'am Luz. Ma'am Luz, are we all okay? Are we okay now?
For a while?
Yes po, Ma'am Luz.
For a while.
I hope friends, colleagues are
Oh,
still there with
yes.
us.
Next slide, please.
Yes, Ma'am Luz, go ahead please.
Okay. So LDM implementation mechanism. So again, LDM course 1, we have done that already. So training for LDM2 coaches. Now the course management here, the region through NAEP-R or NAEP-CO providing the technical assistance. So the coaching management now we have the coaching management region through RF Top, coaches, TA providers from CO. So we will have our central office coach, and then the regional office education forum partners or the external partners for this LDM learning and application. Now, monitoring and evaluation will be done by the Quality Assurance Division together with the NAAP RO. Now, for LDM Course 2, the course management is the division, no? Division which actually through the assistance of the regional office, care of NAYAP providing the technical assistance, both the RO and the CO NAYAP. Now, the coaching management will be the division in support of the RO and CO with a strong CI presence providing the technical assistance for learning delivery modality, learning and application. Now, monitoring and evaluation will be also done by the NAFCO with regional quad and division SGOD. Next, please. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. So, course implementation management procedure. So if it is region-led through NAEP-R, constitute the training management team and prepare the implementation plan. That's why we have the regional implementation plan issued to you through a memorandum signed and approved by our regional director. So if it is division lead through the SGOD, HRDS, to conduct orientation for the management team and set up identification and registration of participants in coordination with other functional offices or units. You have to prepare for the online orientation, implement the course following the delivery design, monitor and evaluate, operationalize monitoring and evaluation mechanism with NAAP CO Quad providing TA and update the learning delivery modality implementation status trackers regularly. And we will be providing you with a tracker similar to what you did in the LDM1 and then submit monitoring and evaluation report for the progress of the implementation. Next, please. Okay, so this is now the suggested program management team, which was also discussed to all the training management team last Thursday. So the overall team lead in the region, the NAAP, are the chief and the division, the SDS through the SGOD. Then the overall co-team lead, the CLND chief, and then in the division, the CID. So we have technology and platform, the ICT, who will assist all of us, materials and resources, secretariat, help desk, and communication. That will be done by the NAFR and in the division level, the SGOD. Monitoring and evaluation, we have the quad in the region together with the NAFR and the SGOD MME. And the coaching team is actually designed for the management of this is the Field Technical Assistance Division. Next slide, please. Okay, so procedure for management of coaching PA mechanism. Again, I discussed this already. So, ang wala lamang doon ay the FTAD will address issues related to coaching activities and then report coaching activities. Next, please. Okay, so now, for LDM2 for teachers through the SGOD with ROF fund providing PA, so assign coaches to LAC. So it will be the SGOD who will assign in the LDM2 for teachers. Now, if necessary, orient the coaches to LDM2 team. Next slide, please. Please. Next slide.
All right, so a pleasant day once again. So I am tasked to discuss to you the LDM2 for instructional coaches, the technical assistance and coaching in the learning delivery modality 2 course. All right, so next slide, please. Basically, this is the session objective. The discussion will provide details on your role as technical assistance provider and coach, including the process flow of the technical assistance and coaching from the central office to the schools. As you can see, we will be having an LDM coaches and taps from the central office specialist, and of course from the education forum partners choose their regional assistance assignments. Of course, the central office will be sending the list of names who will serve as our coach from the central office and from the education forum. And these people will be assigned in the different regions. Please, next slide, please. And of course, the region will constitute also the regional technical assistance coaching team, and the region through the field technical assistance division will manage and of course assign coaches for as technical assistance provider to schools division. It can be individual or team. Consideration is the size of the division. So based on the paradigm or the process flow, I mean, the LDM taps or the coaches from the CORO and the F partners definitely will be assigned from the different division. And as on the end of the regional office, we will be sending definitely an assurance or a memorandum, particularly with the list of the names of these coaches from the CO and in the region. And we will be utilizing the same regional field technical assistance teammates in the provision of technical assistance in the LDM2 courses. And we will be assigning those people in each division, and we have 21 division. And of course, this division will also um, will serve also as the coaches for the schools, and who will be or who will serve the as coaches in the SDO. So these are the district supervisors, education program supervisors, and of course other instructional providers. Next slide, please. Region will constitute the regional technical assistance coaching team. Region through the field technical assistance division will manage and assign coaches again. To schools division, it can be individual or team. Consideration is the size of the division. So the LDM tap from the national level, from the central office to the regional office, we will be assigning people or the coaches rather for this. And definitely, we have created already the Google Classroom for this. So that will serve as coach for the LDM Instructional Coach 1, LDM Instructional Coach 2, so forth and so on. And these people, these coaches will now handle people in the school which compose of the master teachers, head teachers, department heads, senior teachers as stipulated in this slide. And definitely the members, these people will now handle the teachers as member of the LAC. All right, so next slide, please. So the LAC arrangement for the LDM2 coaches. So as I was saying a while ago, there will be an assigned NAIA coach from the central office. And this national, the regional coaches, of course, we will be assigning them to these different division offices that will handle coaches, which is composed of, or which are rather composed of division supervisor, and of course, the LAC members of these people in the LAC leader 1, 2, 3, so forth and so on, depending on the size of the division, will now be handling the district supervisors, all right, as LAC members in the division level, okay? And of course, in this case, the LAC members will now be, they will have these LAC leaders coming from the school, composed of it's either a master teacher or head teacher or other instruction leaders in the school. Next slide, please. So now, what are the responsibilities of the technical assistance provider or coach? The first one is, of course, to provide TA coaching for the LAC through the LAC leader. Okay? And directly provide individual TA coaching when so requested by the individual participants in coordination with the LAC leader. And the last one is also to address concerns of the participants individually as a LAC should the LAC leader. So to make the story short, this will be focusing on how to do the LDM course 2, the different modules. We will be helping them, these people, to accomplish and to comply with all these modules. So our role in the regional office, ours as coach, we will be helping the division on how to do it, and particularly helping these people in the schools by these coaches coming from the SDOs. Next slide, please. And of course, refer and address concerns to the coaching team through the FTAG for appropriate action, or refer the concerns to appropriate official or office for appropriate action. If you will be encountering issues and concerns, particularly the delivery of the learning delivery modality modes or modalities, I mean the course two, you can approach us and provide feedback on the LAC or individual members of the LAC should the LAC on the results of the action taken on the concern raised. Next slide, please. All right, so that's actually the very basic about the structure of the technical assistance mechanism in the provision for the LDM course 2. So with that, thank you so much, and I hope that the structure being presented is very much clear now. And for information or for other concern, I have already posted my contact number or contact details in the Google Classroom, so you can send message or you can also type in your inquiry in the chat box, and later on we will be answering those queries. So thank you and good day.
Sa mundong sabik sa pagkakapantay-pantay, ilagak ang bukas sa iyong mga kamay. Sa bawat salitang sambit ng iyong bibig, sa mga nangangarap, pag-asa ang hatid. Ito ang panahon, higit tayong kailangan. Ating lakas, pag-asang hinihintay. Halina't magpatuloy, tayo'y magkapisik. Maraming naghihintay sa ating pagtindig. Ano man ang pagsubok, lahat kinakaya. Gurong Pilipino, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay ka. Mahirap at tila walang katiyakan. Pagkatutoy tubig, hahanap ng daan. Ang liwanag ng mundo'y ating kaisahan. Ano man ang dahilan, pag gusto'y may paraan. Ito ang panahon, higit tayong kailangan. Ating lakas, pag-asang hinihintay. Halina't magpatuloy, tayo'y magkapipisig. Maraming naghihintay sa ating pagtindig. Ano man ang pagsubok, lahat kinakaya. Gurong Pilipino, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay ka. Ito ang panahong higit tayong kailangan. Ating lakas, pag-asang hinihintay. Halina't magpatuloy, tayo'y magkapit-bisig. Maraming naghihintay sa ating pagtindig. Ano man ang pagsubok, lahat kinakaya. Gurong Pilipino, mabuhay ka. Mabuhay ka. Gurong Pilipino. pagsubok, lahat kinakaya. Gurong Pilipino, mabuhay ka. Buhay ka.
Right. The main objective of this uh, module is for you to, or for us to discuss thoroughly the module objectives, the content, the duration of the activities, and the expected outputs. So like session or LDM1, you have also submitted different outputs and it was rated, no? The outputs were rated, I mean. So same way in this LDM2, we are expecting also outputs from you. So may mga timeline po tayo kung kailan natin ito isa-submit. Okay. And the first, next please. Okay, the first module for this LDM2 is module 1 entitled Course Orientation. Okay, the main objective of this module is, of course, is to describe what this course is about and how it will help you understand and carry out your role as instructional coach to teachers while they undertake the course 2, LDM2. So habang sila ay take ng LDM2, nandiyan na po tayo, nakaalalay na. So at the same time, when they apply their learnings in this course, so habang ina-apply nila, nandun pa rin po tayo nakaalalay. So next slide please. Okay, sabi ko nga sa inyo, you have 2 lessons here. The course overview and the second lesson is organizing your learning action cell or the LAC. Next, please. Next slide. Right. So the lesson 1, which is the course overview, you will be exploring the role as an instructional coach to teachers as they go through the implementation of LDMs in the school. As a division or district supervisor, you will be learning how you can effectively perform the role as instructional coach. Or together with you are some principals who will also serve as coaches. And this will help you better assist teachers in facilitating learning and the new normal. So this overview will cover the why, the what, and the how this module will run. Okay. The focus of this lesson is more on content and delivery, the course design, course rationale, and objectives, the LCP capacity building framework, the learning cell, and self-learning modules. Okay? And you have for this course 1, lesson 1, you have here 3 activities to perform, right? Now, the first activity is you will reflect on the overview of this course by answering the questions stated in the activity 1, like what are the ways you can prepare as an instructional coach? Ano po ba ang kanilang ating preparation, pagiging instructional coach? Paano po ba natin ito i-ensure na we have effectively performed our role? And also, how will you describe your delivery modality na ginagamit po sa ating pagko-coach? And what are the support mechanism that will help our, you with your learning in this course? So that is activity 1. Now, activity 2 also, you will be
filling out a table which will um, get your um, insights on the how will your characteristics and circumstances affects the positivity or negativity in participating this course. Also, you may also have to enumerate ano yung mga habits, ano yung obstacles, ano yung mga invitation, motivations na pwedeng mangyari para matapos nyo yung course na to. What kind of environment you have, paano ba ito makakatulong sa ating pag-accomplish or pagtapos ng ating modules. Okay? And of course, after you finish discussing or answering activity 1 and 2, you can collaborate with your coach to discuss your insights about activities 1 and 2. So yun po yung kabuuan ng ating lesson 1. Now for lesson 2, we have organizing your luck. In organizing the luck activity or the luck or the learning action cell, this lesson will help you set up your luck and prepare for the activities in the succeeding modules. Ano po ba yung ating pinaka-main objective for this lesson? One is to enumerate the roles and responsibilities of the different LAC members. So kanya-kanyang pong member, kanya-kanyang roles. Ano po ba ang role ng isang LAC leader? Ano po ba ang role ng isang co-LAC leader? Meron po tayo dyan, documenter. Ano po ba ang ginagawa ng ating mga documenter? So, alam po natin ng ating ang Biblia ng ating LDM for this is DepEd Order number 35 series of 2016. So, ang activity 1 po natin dito is we have to read DepEd Order number 35 and we have to reflect on it. How does participation or participating in the LAC influences the learning? So, alam po natin na dito po sa LAC or sa DepEd Order number 35, dito po nakapaloob kung paano natin i-organize ang isang LAC. How many members should consist a LAC team? So sabi dito, we have to 5 to 15. The maximum is 15, including na po yan ng LAC leader. So 15. Hindi po tayo mag-organize ng isang LAC na magkakaroon tayo ng 50 members kasi po ay hindi na LAC yun, kundi ay isang training na when we discuss the needs of the teachers and having a 50 or more participants, it will become a training and no more LAC. Okay? Hindi na po siya LAC. So we have to stick to 5 to 15 members. So ngayon po, pinapa-implement natin ang 15 members per LAC. Kasi po as stated in this learning LDM2, ang isang coach can handle 5 LAC teams, 5 or more LAC teams. Kung kukulangin, you can have 8 teams maybe. Because as coaches, as mentioned by Sir Mike a while ago, the coaches will coach the LAC leaders. No? So kung 5 team kayo, 5 lang ang LAC leaders. Unless otherwise, you are requested to coach teachers. So, ni-request ng LAC leader na i-coach ang mga members. So, yun lang po na pwede kayong pumasok as coach for the teachers. No. And we have also here forming, as I said, you have to form the LAC and you have to fill out the LAC profile sheet. So marami po tayong kailangan na i-fill out dito. Ano-ano po ba yung mga forms na kailangan nating i-perform or i-accomplish, and you have to submit it to the regional office or to the division office first and the focal person of the LAC will be the one to submit it to the regional office. Okay. Ang LAC profile po, and then the activities, I mean, the LAC profile sheet will consist of the names of the LAC members, their designations, the contact details, and the preferred mode of contact, like email, texts, Google Meet, or via Facebook. You have also there the facilitation information sheet and the LAC session report. Yun po ay nakapaloob sa ating lesson 2. Next po ay we will be having course 2. Okay, next slide please. Now, session 2 is all about the module 2, which is planning for the implementation of LDM for teachers. Okay, the instructional coaches will play a major role in the implementation of this course, which will be done at the division level. So, kayo na po sa division level. And then this module also will help you prepare for the division implementation of LDM2, which means working with the division management team to plan to its proper and successful execution. So mayroon po rin kayong orientation, and you can do it with the division training team. And there are 2 ways of doing it. I will be discussing it to you later. Now, the objective of this module, yan. Ang una po is to carry out your plan for building the capacity of teachers in the implementation of LDMs in the respective schools. Second is to familiarize yourself with the LDM course design, planning, templates, and steps in planning. So dito po nakapaloob, paano po ba tayo mag-plan ng ating orientations? Paano po ba tayo mag-design? At paano po tayo mag-implement ng ating LAC programs? Okay, develop plan for the orientation activity in the LDM2, the implementation with your jurisdiction using the planning template. Meron po tayo dyan if you fill up or if you fill out na mga template for the implementation. And then organize the teacher's LAC assigned to you. So, we have, like, sabi nga natin kanina, coaches can have 5 or more LAC teams. So, dapat po ay na-organize na natin ang ating mga team or mag-organize po tayo ng mga team before we can conduct the orientation. And of course, we have to know who are our LAC leaders and our LAC members. So, ang atin pong module na to ay we have 2 lessons, lesson 1 and lesson 2. Lesson 1 is the course design for LDM course 2 for teachers. And lesson 2, planning for the implementation of LDM course orientation activity. And we have 3 lessons. The third is organizing the teacher's LAC session. Actually, ang estimated time nito, ang required time is 6 hours with this session. Now, what is all about lesson 1? Next slide, please. Now, lesson 1 is the course design for learning delivery modalities or LDM course 2 for teachers. And the main objectives of this lesson is to describe the course content, the organization and delivery mechanism. Second is to prepare a plan for implementing the capacity building of teachers in school heads. Okay, so you have to make plans in the implementation. Now, take on your role as training implementers and organizers. So dito, since kayo ang mag-orient, so you take the role as a trainers or a training implementers. Paano ba natin ita-train or i-orient ang ating mga LAC teams? or LAC members. And we have here, have said, 2 activities: reflecting on the LDM2 course overview for teachers, meaning to say you have to answer some question like, what do you think will help the teacher in completing the course, or what will hinder them in doing so? In other words, the facilitating and the hindering factors. I-determine po natin ano ba yung mga hindering factors or facilitating factors na mangyayari para matapos natin itong course na to. And also, you need to have what are the challenges na na-encounter ng ating mga LAC members, and paano natin i-help. Yung parang we're doing the risk management. Okay, kung ito yung risk, ano ba ang ating preventive measures or corrective measures para ma-address natin ang ating mga challenges na na-encounter. So, then you have to share the discussion, or you have to discuss it with your coaches, yung mga nakikita nating challenges or hindering factors ng ating mga team members. Baka pare-pareho kayo na-encounter, so you can talk and come up with a uniform solution para ma-address ang mga challenges na to. Now, the second one, the lesson 2, is planning for the implementation of LTM2 course orientation activity. Now, in this lesson, you have to be familiar with the orientation module of the course, and also develop a plan to implement the course orientation, and also gain confidence in implementing the orientation. So, yan. Ito po ang pag natapos po natin ang ating course or module na to, everybody is confident to implement this module. And of course, we have three activities. Okay, deciding on the orientation team training. And paano po ba natin gagawin ang orientation training sa ating mga division offices? Then activity 2 is organizing the orientation training team. And activity 3 is deciding the modality, assigning roles, and drafting the risk management plan. Katulad ngayon na to, no, marami tayong risk. Yung net nagwawala. So, isa po yun sa mga risk kung paano natin i-deliver. So, dapat may nagsasaluhan ng ating team para ma-deliver ng maayos ang ating orientation. Now, sabi natin, deciding the orientation in the training team. Will you please have the next slide? Next slide, please. Okay. Actually, we have orientation training team. One is the division-led, and the other one is the instructional coach lead orientation team. So, pwedeng division-led or pwede pong yung coach mismo ang mag-lead. So, ang division-led orientation training team, all instructional coaches from the division we have to organize centralized orientation for all teachers of the division. Okay, so yun ang division lead. So, syempre, bawat we have LAC, Team 1, Team 2, hanggang LAC-N. So, marami tayong LAC. Sabi nga natin, if you have like 100 or 16,000 teachers, how many LAC teams will be organized? So, may mga kanya-kanya po tayong LAC teams na hahawakan. So pag division-led po, lahat na coaches ay magtutulong-tulong to organize a centralized orientation to all coaches, to all teachers in the division. So yan po ang isa sa pamamaraan kung paano natin ma-orient ang ating division teachers or mga teachers sa ating division. The second one, next please. Alright, the instructional coach lead orientation. Ito po ay small groups, kumbaga small groups na yan. So yung SDO, yung NAEP-CO, RO, the external coaches will provide guidance and monitor the orientations that will be conducted or completed. Okay. So una is yung the instructional coach lead can organize their own orientation. Like you can have first orientation training team number 1, which includes the instructional coach. So isang instructional coach plus yung school heads ng kanyang sinasakupan, and also the LAC leaders. They will help each other to organize the orientation within their group. So halimbawa, ang instructional coach niyan ay mayroong 5 or 8 team. So yun lang po ang i-orient nila. Okay, so by instructional coach yan. So dalawa po ang ating pamimilian, isang division-led, isang instructional coach lead orientations. Okay, next please. Okay, now yung lesson 3 po natin ay more on organizing the teacher's LAC session or learning action cell. So in this lesson, you will organize the teachers who will be assigned to you for technical assistance and coaching into learning action cell. And then specifically, you have to group the teachers into LAC, identify roles and assignments, and plan for the LAC sessions. Ano po ba yung mga LAC sessions na pwede nating i-tackle sa ating mga teachers? Okay. Now, activity 1 for this is forming the LAC for teachers. Again, please refer to DepEd Order number 35, series of 2016 on how to organize the LAC team. Okay? And also, for this activity, you have to coordinate with the SDS and identify schools that are assigned to you for the technical assistance as instructional coach. And also, record the informations in the list assigned schools, in your assigned schools. So, magbibigay po tayo ng information, sino-sino po ba ang ating mga, ano-ano po ba, or anong schools ang assigned sa atin? If not, anong mga teams? So, maybe the school is too big, more than 200 teachers, so hindi ka lang isang coach ang nandiyan. Unless pwede mong kunin ang 8 team or more para sa maging coach ng 8 lead, LAC lead, LAC leader, Okay. And then you have to meet also the LAC, the school head, the LAC leader, and the LAC members. Okay. Kanina na-discuss na rin po ni Sir Mike kung paano natin ginagawa or ano ang structure mula sa division office. Sa LDM 1 po kasi, di ba, we organize a LAC team also na ang members ay ang mga PSDSS at ang LAC leader ay ang division supervisor. So ngayon, yung division supervisor at ang mga PSDS together with some principals ay magiging LAC coaches. At sa pagiging LAC coach nila, they have to handle LAC teams. Okay? So forming the LAC teams for teachers. And then next is you have to submit all the requirements after you organize the teams. Ano po yung mga requirements? Yung mga forms, marami pong forms dyan, yung list ng assigned school, yung roles and roles ng bawat member ng LAC team. Mayroon tayong LAC leader, LAC facilitator, LAC documenter. Okay. So as I have said, let me repeat, you can handle 5 or more LAC teams. Next, please. Now, the next module, the third module is divided into two. We have module 3A and module 3B, right? Module 3A is lesson design and assessment in the modalities. Paano ba mag-assess ng ating mga learners? So, in this, the module for designing instruction and different learning delivery modalities for teachers focuses on how lesson and assessments are designed for distance learning. Paano po ba tayo mag-assess when we have the distance learning? Okay, ano po ang prescribed assessment sa atin or na nakapaloob sa Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan? Because we have different modalities sa ating ngayon na yung delivery learning modalities natin. Okay? We have several types, so you have to identify the types of the different learning modalities. Ano po ba yung mga learning modalities? We have the face-to-face, which is not applicable at this time. We have also the blended learning, which is also, I think, not applicable. We cannot have face-to-face, or otherwise, we can have also, the modality that we're implementing now is the modular, no? Modular distance learning. Other distance learning is the online. So mayroon po tayong mga division offices na nag-implement ng online delivery modality. Aside from that, we have the RBI, the radio broadcasting, and you have the TV broadcasting instruction. So yun po yung iba't ibang delivery modality na ating ina-apply po sa ngayon. But most of us is using the self-learning modules or the modular approach in the delivering of instructions. Okay. Now, the third is create a weekly home learning plans to guide your learner as they do independently study at home. So, nakapaloob po yan sa DepEd order number, DepEd memorandum ba, yung latest? Paano po ba yung weekly home learning plan? This is different from your LE or lesson exemplar. Ang learning plan po ay dapat nakikipag-coordinate po tayo sa ating mga principal and teachers. Paano po ba tayo mag-develop ng isang weekly home learning plan? Meron po tayong example dyan kung paano po yan ginagawa. So we have to collaborate with each other. And also you have to create an individual learning monitoring plan to keep track of the progress of learners who lag behind in completing the prescribed learning tasks. In this module, we have 3 lessons. The first lesson, please move, please. Next slide. The first lesson is understanding the different learning modalities. Kanina nga, sinabi ko na po, we have different learning modalities. Kaya lang sa atin, most of us is implementing the distance learning, which is the modular. Pero meron din po siyatang online at meron din pong RBI. So dito po sa lesson 1, you have to define the different learning modalities. You have to describe the features of the distance learning or the DL and its different types. You have also to explain the guidelines for implementing the different types of the distance learning. Ano po ba yung mga guidelines natin? And enumerate the minimum requirements for each type of DL. Okay. Nandito po lahat. Ano po ba yung mga protocols pag online? Ano po ba ang protocols pag modular? So dito po natin i-discuss lahat. And number 5 is rank the different types of DL in terms of their degree of difficulty to implement from the perspective of your school or your division or the place where you are. So, siguro wala naman po tayong problema dito dahil na-identify na po natin through our LCP kung anong modality ng ating gagamitin. Okay, so the coaches should ensure that all resources are available and ready for use by the participants before you begin studying the lesson or this module. So, dapat bago po mag-start ang mga teachers natin sa module 2 na to ay naka-ready na rin po ang ating mga kailangang resources. Okay? Remember that in coaching, it would be good to start and end session in a positive note. Encourage and support the participants and compliment them with a job well done. Okay. Now this lesson, you have 4 activities here. Okay. So una, yung defining the module, the different modalities. And then we have to understand or deep diving into distance learning, ranking the types of distance learning, and identifying target interventions. Ano po ba ang mga interventions na pwede nating gawin to deliver the instructions properly? Okay? And in this activity, huwag po kayo mag-alala, marami po tayong mga templates na paglalagyan. So you will be guided by all the templates. Now also, as I have said before, emphasize natin ng F2F ay hindi pwede. Sabi nga ng ating presidente, unless na may vaccine, hindi pwede ang F2F. Okay, now for the lesson 2, we have designing lessons and assessment and different learning delivery modalities. Paano po ba tayo mag-a-assess at paano po ba natin i-deliver yung assessment na to? So, ang atin po dito ay we have to revisit DepEd Order number 42, series of 2016, the policy guidelines on the daily lesson plan. We have also to revisit DepEd Order number 8, 2015, on the policy guideline on classroom assessment. Okay, and the objectives of this lesson is to identify the component of a well-designed lesson applicable for all LDMs. So siguro po yung ating mga teachers, meron na po tayong modules na naka-idea at ang atin pong lesson ay lesson exemplar natin po ay naka-idea din po. Okay. Enumerate learning tasks that can be incorporated in your lessons to ensure the achievement of the learning objectives. Select formative and summative assessment tasks that can be incorporated in your lesson to provide students with feedbacks and to help you monitor students' learning when you are teaching remotely. So yun po yung ating i-discuss. So paano po ba ang mga learning modalities? Okay. Now here, coaches should make sure that the participants understand the first lesson, and you have to review the different applicable learning modalities that can be applied in our respective division or location. Okay. The activity for the lesson 2, we have 4 activities. Of course, reviewing the policy on the guidelines or the guidelines on how to prepare the lesson plan, and then sequencing the task or designing the lesson, then emphasizing the importance of reflection. Di po ba sa ating lesson may mga reflection tayo? So, isasama pa rin po natin yon. Paano ba mag-reflect ang bata? So, ano ang kanilang natutunan? At paano nila natutunan ito, paano sila makakapag-apply, and using any supplementing learning modules. Okay? Yun po yung ating at ating i-discuss sa kanila. Now, we have less activity 2, sequencing learning tasks. So ano yung gagawin before the lesson, during the lesson proper, and after the lesson. Then activity 3, emphasizing the importance of reflection. Okay? We have to always include in our lesson reflections for the students. Now, activity 4 is using the supplementing SLMs. Ano pa po ba ang mga SLM na ating mga ginagawa or ginagamit? Then, next slide please. We have, next please. Lesson 3, balik ng isang slide please, Nalen. Okay. So lesson 5, activity 5, I mean, is identifying the similarities and differences between formative and summative tests. Pero alam na po natin yan, but we have to emphasize. Then adopting assessment methods in distance learning. And activity 7, building a learner's portfolio. Paano po ba pinapagawa ang mga bata ng kanilang portfolio? And then lesson 3, we have guiding and monitoring learners in different learning modalities. Okay. Here, you have to differentiate a weekly home learning plan from an individual monitoring plan. So, pag sinabi natin weekly home learning plan, it is the schedule of the students. Halimbawa, from 7 to 8, anong gagawin ng student? From 8 to 9, anong subject, at doon ay ano yung mga competencies na kailangan na matakal ng bata at paano i-deliver yung ano yung mga learning tasks, ano yung mode of delivery. So, halimbawa, 9 to 10, anong subject uli? Okay? That's for, halimbawa, Monday. Then, sa hapon, anong subject naman? So, Tuesday, another subject siguro. It depends on how you, nasa LCP na po siguro ng ating mga school heads kung paano natin i-deliver yung ating mga subject sa bata during, sa ganitong paraan, sa modular. So, yun yung mga example lang po. So, and then we have here 4 activities. Understanding the weekly home learning plan, creating weekly home learning plan, differentiating a weekly home learning plan from an individual monitoring plan, and creating individual learning monitoring plan. Okay. So, ano po ba ang ating mga, we have to emphasize that clearly in creating the weekly home learning plan, you have to collaborate with the other learning teachers. Or of course, syempre, sabi ko nga, ay naka-incorporate na siguro yan sa inyong LCP, sa inyong mga schools. Para alam natin kung anong schedule ng bata sa ganitong araw, sa ganitong oras. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So ito yung mga expected outputs. You have to remind that these are the expected outputs. You have to remind your participants, list of targeted learner interventions. Ano ba yung mga interventions na kailangan ng ating mga learners? Learning tasks for the DL, assessment method in the distance learning, weekly home learning plan for one subject. O ano ba yung weekly learning plan mo sa isang subject? The individual learning monitoring plan for a student, and then teacher engagement report, and then the session report. So yun po yung mga output na kailangan i-accomplish ng ating mga teachers. Okay? Now, the next is the learning resources. That is 3B. Okay. Module 3B is learning resources. We should be familiar of the different learning resources that we should know also, or we should give technical assistance to our teachers on how to use it. We have to give technical assistance to our teachers. Ano po ba ang appropriate materials na pwedeng gamitin sa lessons? Make sure na naka-quality assure po natin ang ating mga LRs. Most of our teachers are getting lessons from tambayan, yun ba yun? Mga tambayan, ganyan. Now, we are not sure na kung naka-quality assure ang ating mga learning resources. That's why we have the LR portals, we have also the DepEd Commons, and we have to know all of those on how to access para mabigyan din natin ng technical assistance ang ating mga teachers. So, ang lesson natin ito ay tatlo. We have the learning resource maps for distance learning, assessing learning resources for DepEd portals, and assessing the LR materials. Is the LR materials appropriate for our learners? So, ganun po natin i-assess ang ating mga learning resources. Next, please. Okay. Now, lesson 1 is learning resource map for distance learning. Ang atin pong objective dito is to help the teachers assess the LR needs and concerns of their schools. Okay. May kanya iba't ibang lokasyon, iba't iba pong learning resources siguro ang mai-encounter nating concern ng ating mga teachers. And then discuss and reflect of these needs and concern. Then help the teachers find solution to these LR needs and relay these concerns to the upper management. Paano po ba natin ma-address ang kanilang mga concerns when it comes to the learning resources? Okay? The activities is, you have the 4 activities, of course. Naka-enumerate na po dyan: identifying LR needs, gathering LR concerns, discussing LR concerns, and submitting the LR concerns templates sa ating management so that the management also can help us address the concerns when it comes to the learning resources. Okay. Of course, you have to meet the LAC leaders as coaches to find out what came up with their LAC sessions for this module. Ano po ba yung mga naging problema? That is how we gather our LR concerns. For the activity 3, you have to discuss concerns raised by the LR LAC assigned to you by referring to the accomplished LR content templates. So may mga template po tayo dyan. And of course, yung last is to submit the LR templates. Now, lesson 2 is assessing learning resources from DepEd portals. Sabi ko nga, hindi lang LRMTS supervisor ang dapat marunong mag-access sa ating mga portals, kundi tayo din, the supervisor, the PSTSS, mga principal, so that we can give TA on how to explore the LR portals in the DepEd Commons. So yun po yung ating mga official na pagkukunan ng ating mga learning resources. Then discuss answers for activity 1 with that's for your activity 2, and for activity 3 is gathering insights concerning this lesson. So yun po yung ating mga activity na nakapaloob sa ating lesson 2. Now, meron po tayong guides, yung LR portal user guide. So dapat ma-discuss po natin yan sa ating mga teachers, and I'm sure that lahat ng ating mga teachers ay alam na po yan. But then again, we have to make sure na talagang alam na ng lahat. Okay? Especially the DepEd Commons. Ano ba ang pwedeng makuha sa DepEd Commons? We have to assess them. And then we have lesson 3, assessing the LR materials. Okay, using the LR rapid assessment tool. Nandito po rin naka-explore ay nakapaloob yung mga assessment tool kung paano natin i-assess ang isang learning material. Okay? Now, using the LR Rapid Assessment Tool for materials na hindi galing sa DepEd portals, pwede natin, alimbawa, may gagamitin po tayo na hindi galing sa DepEd, we can use the assessment tool para ma-ensure natin na tama or maayos ang ating mga learning resources. Okay? Then we have activity 4, gathering the insights and concerns on the lesson 3. And then, of course, we have always to submit all the LR assessment. Okay? So, kaya ang expected output natin doon ay LR assessments with reflections, then accomplished LR concerns and templates. So, yan po ang ating Module 3B. Next, we have the next module, please. Right. The module 4 is technical assistance in coaching learning LDM. Okay, and paano po ba tayo magbibigay ng technical assistance? As an instructional coach, it is your responsibility to provide technical assistance to teachers as they go through the LMD2 course, help them accomplish desired outputs, and guide them in the implementation of their learning from course once the classes start. So, ngayon pa lang na mag-undergo sila ng kanilang LDM course 2, so nakaalalay na po tayo if they need our assistance on how to accomplish all the forms, then we can do the technical assistance. At hanggang sa mag-implement po tayo when we start the classes. Kaya nga po ay atin pong inaasahan na ang course na to, ang module na to, ay matatapos po tayo before the start of classes. Okay? Now, the module objectives, next please. We have to review the basic education continuity plan, learning continuity plan and its impact in instruction supervision. We have also to describe the TA coaching framework, implement needs assessment for effective LDM learning, right? And develop the coaching plan. So, wag po natin kakalimutan yung needs assessment. Kailangan natin ano ba ang pangangailangan ng ating mga teachers before we have the sessions, the LAC sessions. Ano? Now, the content is the BELCP and its implication in instructional supervision, the TA coaching framework, and the planning for TA towards effective learning in the LDM2 for teachers. Next, please. Now, lesson 1, you will review the BLECP of the Department of Education and reflect on its impact in your role as an instructional leader. Ano po ba ang impact ng basic education learning continuity plan as being a coach, being an instructional coach? So we have to understand it. And we have the 2 activities, understanding the BELCP and discussing answers to activity 1 within your group. Okay. So, dito sa activity 1, ano ba ang component ng BLCP? Ano ba ano ba yung mga items na nag-reflect ng changes implemented as indicated in the BLCP? And how will this change affect us? And as a supervisor or a coach, make a list of the usual TA and coaching activities to do for school heads and teachers before and during the pandemic. What changes have you noted? Ano ba yung mga changes na nangyari? And then lesson 2 is the TA and coaching framework and processes. Now, this lesson will provide us the opportunity to study in detail the TA and coaching framework and processes as they relate to our role as instructional coach for teachers in the implementation of LDM2. So dito po ay mapag-aaralan natin ang in detail yung TA and the coaching framework. So, ang resources natin, nakapaloob din po dito yung TA coaching guideline and the study notebook. Okay. Now, ang activity 1 for lesson 2 is reflecting on forms of technical assistance. Okay? Which is the most frequently used TA forms or based on the guidebook or and cite the reason. Also, if you assess your teachers and school heads based on their present situation, which form of technical assistance do you think would they need the most and why? And also, out of the coaching process, which are the most confident to implement and why? So, ano yung mga proseso na kayang-kaya natin i-implement as coaches? And of course, activity 2 is assessing your technical assistance competence. Mag-reflect din po tayo as coaches. Ano ba ang, saan ko ba i-improve ang aking competence or paano ko i-improve ang ating competence? I am good at these tasks. So saan ako magaling? So saan ako pwede pang mag-improve? Or I shall do the following to be a better coach. Ano pa ang aking mga gagawin? Ano po ba ang kulang sa akin para maging effective coach ako? So yun yung mga reflection activities na ating gagawin. And then you may also ask other co-coaches on or discuss with your co-coaches on your reflections. Paano ba sila mag-i-improve? Ano bang ginawa nila para naging effective or maging effective coach sila or tayong lahat. Okay? And then lesson 3. Next, please. Lesson 3 is planning the TA towards effective learning in the LMD2 for teachers. So in this lesson, you will develop the plan for TA coaching for effectively help the teachers who are undergoing the LMD2 course. So, yung may mga plano po tayo. So here, we will focus on coaching, plan, and technical assistance. And we have 3 activities: assessing TA needs of teachers for LDM2 learning. Okay, so here, you have to analyze the teacher's response across different LAC sessions. Answer the following questions. Do you see patterns in the results? Describe these patterns. Ano po ba yung usual na sinasagot nila? What comes out in the most common TA needs for the teachers? Now, also implementing and reflecting on the TA plans. When we implement, naging successful po ba tayo? If hindi naman, what other thing na pwede nating isama para ma-carry out natin ang ating plan successfully? And also the expected outputs here are TA activity documents, TA coaching plan for effective LDM training for teachers. So ito po yung kabuuan ng ating session or module 4, which is the technical assistance in coaching, learning, the LDM. Okay? And of course, the last module is the module 5, which is building my portfolio. Parang mga bata, may mga portfolio din. So tayo as coaches, we will also have our portfolio. So after finishing the modules for LDM2 courses, especially with respect to instructional supervision or supervisory role, you are now ready to support both school heads, school master teachers as slack leaders, and teachers who are the forefront of facilitating learning. So sila po ang ating mga i-assess. I-coach. So in this module, you will plan how to document the evidence of your provision for teaching assistance. as part of your instructional supervisory responsibilities, which you will organize into a portfolio. Okay, this portfolio will be submitted to the LAC coach for evaluation by the end of the year. You will be assessing paano ba gagawin ang isang magandang portfolio ng isang teacher. At kayo po ay gagawa, I mean, paano ba natin, ano ba yung ating mga standards para magawa ng maayos ang portfolio ng isang teacher na isasubmit nila sa LAC leaders, and in turn, the LAC leaders will submit it to the LAC coach. Okay. Siyempre po, lahat naman ating ginagawa, tayo din, we have to keep our own portfolio also. So mga ating mga ginagawa, i-document po natin paano tayo nagko-coach, ano ba yung mga coach, different, yung mga activity na ginawa natin as coach, dapat naka-portfolio din po yon. Okay. By the end of this module, you shall be able to finalize the list of evidence of your TA and or coaching to school heads and teachers in relation to effective learning delivery in the new modalities. You will also check again the evaluation rubric for your portfolio. So, kaya makikita natin ano ba ang standard ng portfolio kasi meron po tayong rubrics dito na kailangan nilang masunod. And the content here, we have 2 lessons. Lesson 1, the Technical Assistance Coaching Guidebook, the Technical Assistance Portfolio of Instruction Leaders. And of course, Lesson 2 is the evaluation rubric. Next, please. Now, for the Lesson 1 is, this lesson will introduce to you the portfolio for your provision of TA for coaching to teachers, school leaders in relation to the effective facilitation of learning in the new modalities. Okay? And also we have identifying the TA documents from TA coaching guidebook for the portfolio. And finalize the list of evidence for your LDM TA portfolio. So the contents of the portfolio will be discussed here. The portfolio itself and the technical assistance. And of course, yung rubrics. Mahalaga po yung rubrics. Okay? Next is lesson 2 for the evaluation of rubrics. So dito po, you have to understand that LDM2 coaches evaluation rubrics. Nakapaloob po dito yung yung rubrics na gagamitin natin sa pag-evaluate ng mga portfolio ng ating mga LAC team members. Then activity 2 is discussing the rubrics and presenting what will be the next steps for the LAC. Okay. Now in the activities for the lessons 1 and 2, pag sinabi natin checking completion of modules 1 to 4 requirements, nandun po yan sa activity 1. May checklist po tayo na gagamitin para makita natin na lahat ng outputs ay nakapaloob sa portfolio. Then, activity 2 is reflecting the TA for coaching processes, tools, and evidences. Nandun po yan sa activity 2 at meron din po tayong mga templates na dapat i-fill out. So the list of evidence for the LDMA portfolio templates. And of course, the activity 3 is you have to discuss, of course, always discuss it with your team coach or co-coaches, yung ating mga sagot sa ating mga activity. And also, activity 4, of course, you have to submit the list of evidences for the LDM technical assistance. And of course, we have to study the different criteria before we can evaluate the rubrics, I mean, the modules or the portfolio, that will be submitted to us by our teachers. So ito po yung mga expected outputs ng Module 1. The LAC roles organizers to in the instructional codes for course orientation or course Module 1. For Module 2, which is the learning delivery modality, ang output po niyan as required na i-submit yung list of assigned schools or LAC teams, LAC roles organizers for teachers. And then Module 3, ito po yung outputs natin na kailangan. List of targeted interventions. Okay? Targeted interventions. Then the LAC roles organizer, the learning task for DL, assessment, mechanics and DL. Then the weekly home learning plan. So ano pa yung bang weekly home learning plan ng ating para sa ating mga estudyante. The individual learning monitoring plan for students. And then teacher engagement report. Yan, wag po natin kalimutan yan. At saka yung session report, LAC session report. Okay? Next module is Module 3B, yung Learning Resource Concern Template. Of course, ano po ba yung mga learning resource concerns ng ating mga teachers. And then the LR assessment with reflection. So, kung nakapag-assess kayo ng isang learning resource material, ano po yung assessment nyo doon at ano yung reflections nyo with reflections. And Module 4 ay ang Technical Assistance and Coaching and Learning LDMS. Ang atin pong required output dyan ay TA Coaching Plan for Effective LDM Tool Learning for Teachers and the TA Activities Documents. So documented po yung mga TA activities na ginawa nyo sa ating mga LAC leaders and teachers. And of course, number 5, ang required output po dyan ay building the portfolio. So, portfolio, of course, portfolio po ang ating makikita dyan. Okay? Na-comply nila or you have already evaluated it according doon sa rubrics ng portfolio. So, nakapasa po ba? Nasa standard po ba? Okay. So, kaya po tayo ay merong rubrics. And these are the expected output na sana po ay matapos natin before the opening of classes, which is October 5. So that's why in our activity dates, ay hopefully yan po ay mai-submit sa ating division, ay sa regional office on or before September 30. Yan po ang last natin kasi po ay mag-start na tayo ng ating klase comes October 5. Para wala na po tayong intindihin at ang mga teachers po natin ay mai-apply na nila ang kanilang natutunan sa LDM2 course as the start of classes, mai-apply na po nila lahat yon. And doon, kung ano man ang problema ng ating mga teacher, ay pwede po natin silang i-coach based po sa ating napag-aralan. Okay? So that's the different modules na atin pong na-discuss or i-discuss sa ating mga teachers or gagawin para sa ating mga teachers. So therefore, let me end my session with this quotation from Orison Swett Marden. Open eyes will discover opportunities everywhere. Open ears will never fail to detect the cries of those who are perishing for assistance. Open hearts will never want to worthy objects upon which to bestow their gifts. Open hands will never lack for noble work to do. So sa atin po nakasalalay ang success ng ating mga bata despite of this pandemic, we're really working hard para ma-deliver natin ang ating instruction successfully sa ating mga bata. Okay? Maraming salamat po. Okay? So, see you sometime again.